How do you navigate if you're selling a property for a couple that have broke up and they hate each other?
Oh, I'll give you a good story about that one. And as a realtor who's been in the business a long time, that happens more than you realize. I had a couple that were going through a divorce, and the wife called me and asked me to come over to the house with Judy to evaluate their house and tell them what we think it might sell for interview. What we might call the listing presentation. Okay. And we did a two-step approach. We went over and met them first and looked at the house, and then we went back at a later date and did the full presentation. In fact, most of the time we did it at our office. It's a little different than most real estate people do. But in the first meeting, I got to know her. We looked at the house. In the second meeting, we arrived and we went in to sit down and talk about, because they wanted to do it at their home. And the estranged husband came in, and we had not met him before. And it was a very expensive home, very large home, and very large formal dining room. He sat at one end of the table, and she sat at the other end of the table. And so there was 3 or 4 seats between us and him when he came in a little bit later. And he was absolutely stone-faced. Because what happens is, Roy, is the person in the couple that chooses the realtor to interview, the other person always thinks that they don't trust the realtor because the other person chose them, and they're estranged. They're in a lot of conflict. Well, I named this man Poker Face because through our meeting and our presentation, he was frozen. I mean, not even blinking an eye. Okay. So we went through the entire presentation, and she said to us, okay, I think we're ready to go ahead and list our property. It was about $1,500,000. In Texas, that's a big home, guy. I mean, that's a large home, right? And we went ahead and started doing the paperwork to list the property. And he interrupted finally and said, first time he spoke, he said, I just want to know, are you going to share with me what you tell her? And I looked at him and I said, Steve, I can promise you we will tell each of you everything that we tell the other one. And I can assure you that Judy and I have both been through divorces. We know what it's like. We know how hard it is. We're going to treat you both with great respect. And he didn't even smile, didn't say a word. He said, okay, let's go forward. Now, later on, we found out that Steve was not a poker face. He was a great guy. But everything about that meeting was suspect. Everything about that meeting made him worried, distrustful, uncertain. Being a realtor means you have to have empathy.